Hello, welcome to the Mediocre Takes podcast, the podcast where we share our mediocre takes on the shows and movies you watch. I'm Marco and here with my co-host Mel. How are you doing, Mel?
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year, guys. This will be the first episode we post for the new year, so I hope you guys enjoy it. We enjoyed this series, so today we are talking about Humans Be Gone. It's a web series. Fun fact, we actually met the creator of this show at Artist Alley Comics Fest. We are going to do a video about a haul that we got from Artist Alley Comics Fest, but Mal never recorded their portion, so we're never going to post it now. So yeah.
Yes, we are.
Are we?
Yeah. We'll
Are you
post it in
sure?
January. I promise you guys.
You better keep that in.
I will. It will be posted in January
Okay,
of
fine.
2024.
Yes, okay. Anyways, the creator seemed really nice, and I bought a sticker of one of the characters, and that's partially why I want to review this. Like, meeting him and him showing us the web series he created, like, that was really cool to see, and I was like, we should review this, and I was like, okay. Also, this is a very sci-fi story, and you probably won't get what we're talking about unless you watch it, so go watch it on YouTube right now before you listen to this episode. It's really good. We really liked it. So, yeah. Anyways, let's get on with the story. In episodes 1 through 7, the Professor Greycorsa explains the story of Sophadra and a spider named Rose. Also, Sophadra is a... Holy shit, I forgot already. An insect.
Praying mantis.
It's praying mantis.
A big praying mantis.
Yeah, a giant praying mantis. We eventually learn Sophadra is fighting against humans and collects them in her Venus spy trap and puts them in an ant farm. The last episode that has been released so far ends with a human being killed by a quote-unquote cow. And yeah, that's it. So we're just going to go episode by episode with our little notes. So episode 1, I'm genuinely surprised by how good the animation and how good the voice acting is. I really like the writing of the first episode, especially the line, a way to make herself small so there's less of the world for her to get. And the first few lines of this episode were also really good. I really love the ending scene where the giant praying mantis Sophadra comes into the scene. It looked really cool.
So I loved how the narrator would throw up citation numbers throughout the episodes, and at the end we get the citations and the addition at the of points at the bottom of each slide, especially since there's personality in it. This happens in episode 3, but one of the citations for the humans was literally just, I assume you're familiar with yourselves. And it had humor to it, and I really liked that.
Episode 2. I really like the TV-like plant thing. I love wacky sci-fi concepts. I really loved the creepy feeling in this episode, especially when it came to the ants. Rose seems okay so far. She's not my favorite character, but I guess she's okay. Also, why is Rose's dad a different insect? That kind of confused me.
Adoption?
Okay, fine, but I this is like, it's a sci-fi world, so I'm expecting there has to be another reason for it, other than adoption.
You know, some things stay the same, Marco, and adoption is one
Okay.
of those.
Okay, that's fair. Also, I was confused what the thing they were inside of was, but apparently it's supposed to be this world's version of public transportation, and it's basically a giant plant. I love the way Rose describes the color blue. I'm assuming Violet asked this because Violet can't see color, or maybe they can only see like a certain type of colors. I know it depends on what creature you are, but I don't really know the details. The ants were kind of scary, but that's not surprising. I'm actually very impressed the creator was able to write such good scenes without drawing out the plot too much. This show is really good. Episode 3. I was really confused at first because I didn't know why the blue rope thing started sporadically shaking after Sophadra was captured. Like, I was really confused. Well, I saw in the comments basically that because the plants that they were catching the praying mantis with, it was like connected to the manufacturing thing that Rose was using, so that's why. I hope this doesn't come off as rude because I think this is a really amazing series and I love it a lot. But the animation errors and the way the humans moved in this episode was really funny but kind of annoying at the same time. And it's not even a big deal. I just want to mention that. So I was kind of wondering why Sophadra has a Venus flytrap on its back, but eventually we do learn that.
Yeah, I really liked the use of the Venus flytrap as a means of capturing things. I thought that was like just a really cute implementation of one of the cutest carnivore plants.
Episode 4. Sophadra is the character I bought a sticker of from the creator, by the way, when we went to Artist Alley Comics Fest. Just wanted to mention that. I love the incorrect information Rose gives about Gubs, or humans, I guess. Okay, so Mr. Gregorsa says that he took some liberties when showing the story. What I want to know is how does Rose, a spider, and Saphadra, a praying mantis, are able to communicate with each other? And I know it's something to do with science, but I don't really know. So I just wish we got that explained in this web series. Okay, so I don't like the human leader's outfit. There is too much boobage. Why would the leader be able to wear that kind of outfit when all the other people have to wear suits to fit into the environment?
I was confused because I didn't know whether or not it was a human because it looked a little strange, especially the eyes. I think it was mostly the eyes that made me like really confused.
Yeah, I had a theory that she was part bug or something because that's the only way this would make sense in my head.
Sort of like how the cow was not a cow.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, have you noticed that all of the humans were women? Like, have the men died out? Because that would be so slay. Episode 5. I'm really curious to see what Gregosa means by the ones that were line when it came to Tricularia, and that was the plant things that are coming off of the planet. I really wish we could see multiple stories from this universe and see other areas of the planet because I really want to know what's going on now.
I never mentioned this, but I actually really like how when we're in the human's perspective, everything's in red, but when we're in like the insect's perspective, it's rich with color, and that's sort of how they visually show you the differences between like the human eye and like an insect or spider eye. So like I don't want to be this person and I don't want to have this reputation, but obviously Saphadra totally wants to kiss Rose. Sorry, I don't make the rules.
I knew you were gonna say that one. Okay, I don't want to be this person. I automatically knew what you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say
Yeah,
they want to kiss or something like that, or they're in
I
love or something like
it's
that.
so bad. And I feel like I say that all the time, but like I'm serious, guys.
I think that's just you, and that's really slay. Episode 6. This episode was just kind of okay, but I get that's set up for the next arc/semester, and that's all I have to say about this episode.
Of all the insects, I never would have thought the ants would be more than just soldiers. So the fact that they sort of have status was pretty interesting. Now, I haven't watched a lot of bug related media, but from what I do see, they are portrayed as like, the army. So that was interesting that they had a bigger meaning than just that in this. Obviously, Saphadra's human farm was unnerving, but it really make you think. Like, imagine if there was just a single intelligent insect and they were looking at an ant farm that like one of the humans had and they're like, "What are they doing to my people?" But humans do be weird like that. So, I used to keep roly-polies in a in a shoebox and it never worked out. They always escaped. I love roly-polies. Marco, thoughts on roly-polies?
I also love roly polies.
I think they're the only insect that I can hold in my hand without wanting to vomit.
Yeah, me too.
Or roly-polies, also known as pill bugs in other places, which I think is really stupid.
That's disgusting. Who say
In
those?
what where
British people?
apparently some Americans too, which is so
Really?
crazy. Allegedly. Which like
Allegedly.
in what world would that be a pill bug? Guys, they roll into a little ball. They're roly-polies. I'm gonna make accusations. I think it's an East Coast thing.
Episode 7. I love how Saphadria hates it when people call humans cubs. Now, I was so surprised by the ending of this episode, and I kind of liked it. However, it was kind of weird. I don't know, the cow, the way it looked, it was just strange. Saphadria flirting with that one insect made me feel very uncomfortable, and it was kind of hard to watch.
Especially since, like, he was supposed to be an old man, right? Yeah, she was just flirting with this old geezer. And I thought it was really weird that they made her sexy in this episode. Like, out of nowhere. Like, she was just, like, what, like, when he called her up or whatever, why was she so salacious? And then she came in and she was flirting with him in
I
his own
honestly do
home.
not know. It was very strange. I don't know, it was so weird. It gives me men riding woman vibes.
I think it was a weird 180. She seemed charming when she first met Rose. But this was a full-on like something else, like take him to dinner first situation.
I found it funny how Saphadra pushes Rose and Rose just tumbles. Also, how do the humans understand the insects? Like, I was very confused about that. Because one of the humans said, I heard Saphadra talking about cows and we should get out of here. Maybe that'll be explained in the next few episodes, but I really hope that gets explained as well.
Okay, I like that we got an explanation for like how there are different versions of like animals or whatever. Like we have our cows, but there's also different cows. Because I think it was in the previous episode where Safadra was like, "Oh, you found my penguins," and what they showed, those were not penguins, and I was so confused. I was like, genuinely, I was like, "So is this just like an artistic choice, or what's going on here?" But we did get an explanation in this episode. It didn't make the cow less unnerving. It did take a weird horror twist at the end, which I genuinely was not expecting, but I'm not mad about. I was just a little confused. This was just a bit of a confusing episode for me.
I saw someone say they have a theory that the humans we see in this show are actually a different version of humans, which would be kind of cool. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like ones that don't like need men. Like wait, there's a type of lizard that don't that are just all female and they live like that. Like they reproduce like that. They don't need no man, genuinely.
Stop saying that. They don't need a man.
They don't.
I do not like them. Daddy longlegs are harmless. However, one time during work, there's a daddy longlegs on a box that I was packaging. So I threw the box just in front of me. And I told my coworker, "Did you see that?" And she was like, "What?" And I was like, "There's a spider." And I pointed out the box and she didn't see it. And it disappeared. And then later it reappeared. And I showed it to her and she was like, "Oh, it's a daddy longlegs." And then she just took it and took it outside. Kind of cute of her. But I personally do not like spiders.
But like what about insects? Are there any like you said roly-polies are fine. What are your thoughts on millipedes?
Let me search this up. How do you spell that?
Uh-oh. Milli and then wait for your search engine to fill in the blanks.
Oh, that's ill. I don't want to look at those.
Really?
They're kind of nasty.
They kind of look like long roly-polies.
Yeah, I know, but still.
I asked that because my brain does weird things where like there are some insects and spiders where it's like that is fucking disgusting. But in other situations I think they're really cute. Like I said, roly-polies, I love millipedes. I think they're really cute. But then there are things like centipedes where it's like those little critters straight from hell. Spiders, my qualifications are more, I think, easier to categorize because, like, brown recluse spiders, creepy, scary. A tarantula, acceptable. A jumping spider, those things are so cute. And I think it has a lot to do with how much hair is on it. The more hair it has, the less scary it looks.
So you meant the more hair it has, the more scary it looks?
The less scary it looks.
Really? I feel like the more
Yeah.
hair it has, the more scary it looks.
No. Well, for me, I think it has to do with the fact that hairy things remind me of mammals, and like mammals, most mammals are cute. Like a cat.
I mean, I guess,
Mar-
but still a bug.
Marco, jumping spiders are just like cats.
No, they're really not, you know?
Jumping spiders are cute. They dance.
Whatever, it's fine. I disagree.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, for me, there are categories and there are scales. So, like, most of the ones that were in this, I did not like. They made me uncomfortable. I liked Rose, though.
Overall, this is a really good series. If you guys ignored us when we said to go watch it earlier, go watch it, please. It's really good. Honestly, I like this as much as a little bit less than Epithet Erased. However, it's still really good. Like, it's one of my top web series I've ever watched so far. I really love the music as well. I was listening to episode 7 music and I really enjoyed it. I also really like Safadra, the character. She's really cool. I do not like how sexy they made her in the end. I guess she's not sexy, but they made her like flirtatious. I'm sorry I said sexy. But yeah, this was a really good web series.
Yeah, this sort of felt like something a really cool biology teacher would show you in middle school. And I mean that as a compliment. Just the overall idea of the hunted becoming the hunters was interesting, but a scary thing to think about. And just to speak my truth for a moment, I do hate insects for the most part. I respect their role in the food chain. Most of them are important, though I still have no idea what use mosquitoes have. But like they're just so icky and scary, and I think learning more about them made me think they're kind of ickier. But at least now I know some insects have two little claws on their feet to grab stuff and also probably signal that they want uppies from their mommies. The second thing isn't a fact, I just think it'd be really funny if insects did that. I also really like the music. It kind of gave like cyberpunk vibes and it fit well with the color palette and the vibe of the animation. Last thing, I mentioned this to you, Marco, before we recorded, but I really hope bees make an appearance sometime in this show, specifically bumblebees, because not to be a Vanessa Bloom from the Bee Movie, but I feel like I could fall in love with a human version of a worker bumblebee. And I say that with my whole heart, knowing that I will be judged.
I love that for you.
Thanks. I don't think I do. New year, new recommendations. That's right. It's time for the first mediocre minute of 2024. This is a tiny little micro moment where me and Marco recommend books, comics, music, games, and more for you all to peruse while you fail at every New Year's resolution you wrote down for yourself. My recommendation is the album This Is Why by Paramore. It's almost been a year since this album came out, and though some OG fans hate their new stuff, I liked it, and I really like this album. I've done a lot of introspection, and I think my favorite songs are. This was a tough one, and I need you all to understand that I'm ranking these, and these are like just like literally millicentimeters like away from each other in the rankings. Okay, I think my favorites are Running Out of Time, You First, and Thick Skull. Also, something that I think is really interesting is how when I was a kid, I hated Paramore's slower songs, but now I love them. Marco, what is your recommendation?
My recommendation is a podcast called the Lunchbox Radio Podcast. This is a anime podcast, which I know is kind of lame, but it's about this guy who does like anime reviews. He does commentary. He's also disabled. Honestly, I liked his older podcast episodes where he did more commentary. Mostly he does reviews now, which are okay, I guess. It depends on which anime he's reviewing. If it's like something I would be into, I usually listen to it, but if it's not, I don't. But yeah, check out his older stuff. He does a lot of anime commentary and like commentary in general. I remember he did a commentary about being disabled and like disabled media, which was really enjoyable. And yeah, anyways, you guys, that's our thoughts on Humans Be Gone. It was really great. What do you guys think about our first episode of the year? Is it good or not? Comment down below or something. If you want to send us a voice message on Spotify for podcasters, there'll be a link in the description below. Also, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads are at MyTakesPod. And that's everything. So, goodbye.
Slay!